Yo, yo, yo. The Pat Dixon show just ended. So I thought, why not do a stream? You stream, I stream, we all stream. La, 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 la. I'm just chilling right now. Earl Skakel is in the building. This is going to be now tomorrow night. We'll be streaming live 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Start off talking with a little bit of AEW pro wrestling, and then we'll just branch off into life, and take it from there. You know me, I'm an open forum. We get into all in inappropriate Earl land, but if you want to talk about it, who am I to stop you? I will be judging the next Zoom roast battle between Mr. Stevie Lou and Chad Zumock. I think that's 2 weeks from today. And other than that, I'll be at the Comedy Store this Saturday night, closing out the main room. If you're in Los Angeles, just DM me on the gram, and we'll take care of all your stand-up comedy needs. And yes, I am fully monetized right now. Hubba hubba. Thank you to oh wait, we already got a super chat from maybe my number one fan, the great Andrew Jacobs. $2 for super chat. It is not Andrew. I did a stream Sunday night. Sunday night will be my flagship show, 7 p.m. Sunday nights. But I appreciate the $2 anyway. Not necessary. Hello, Nick, Pooter, Assyrian. I did see Tony Khan's tweet today. Well, he does kind of have a good point. Tass, what's up? I see a couple of you guys coming over from Pat Dixon's. Thank you. Unlike a lot of people in the super chat world, I'm respectful of other people's hours, so I didn't want to start until Pat was done. Good to see you, Grimace and Pain. It's good to see all of you. There is no theme tonight. There will be no food here, Hack. Unless you super chat me $100 and I'll buy food for everyone in chat. I'm just kidding. And I will never ask you guys for super chat money. My friend William Zoom said it the best. Think of me as a bartender. If you like what I'm doing, tip me. If you don't, listen for free. I genuinely like doing this. It's fun for me. And I'm at my best when I'm interactive with the fans. And even the trolls, although I don't I don't get trolled too much, but, every now and then I do, and, you just do, you know, you just take care of business with them. I mean, most trolls just wanna be acknowledged, and, that's fine. I'm a little sad tonight because the LA Kings lost, like, their 6th in a row in overtime to the Tampa Bay Lightning. John Mack, 86. That's not the John Mack that coached me in high school. Although it's only $5, I must say I feel uncomfortable giving a Kennedy a super chat. But you're too damn good on MLC. Well, John Mack, I'm assuming you're not the John Mack, my teacher in Notre Dame High in 1986. $5, thank you. Listen, I'm not doing super chats for the money. So um, I don't care if you give me $1, $100, you give me nothing. Um, I will put all the super chat money I make back into the show, maybe buy another IMAX so the camera's better, and no amount's too small, and I'll never ask you guys for it. So thank you, John Mack. Jay Santos, 4.99. Thanks, Earl. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It is nice to be compensated as for my time. You know, and thanks to Tracy and Maria and my friend Jordan the Lion. They really helped me because to link your YouTube account to AdSense is it's not easy. Don't worry about it, Taz. I'm not doing these to milk my fans. So it's all good. You don't have to explain yourself. If you can't give, you can't give. It's all good. Dat Pixon, $5. Here's some gash. Cash, not gash. Congrats on monetization and good luck. I thank you. Thank you, Dat Pixon. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's like I said, I'm late to the super chat game, and although I'm not, and thank you, John Mack, about saying I should be a regular on MLC. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I should because, like, I watched the whole show today, and like, I think you have people who are better suited for it than I am. Like, I get bored doing anything for longer than 20 minutes. So, like, Stevie Lou and the great Pat Dixon, um, they they're more suited to do 2, 3, 4 hour streams. I just can't, man. I get because I don't have, I don't talk shit online. If I got something bad to say to you, I'll say it to your face. And I don't really have anything to say about Stuttering John. I just don't, and that's not a knock on him. I just like I got nothing there. So, but I will be judging the Stevie Lou Chad Zumach roast battle. So there's that. Hack Burts, 4.99. If you're gonna twist my arm about it, I'm not twisting your arm, but I appreciate the 4.99. And I know a lot of you, not necessarily anyone in chat right now, but give what you can afford. Not just to me, but to anyone. Like, because I know sometimes you get caught up in the moment, you know, just and some days don't give it all. Enjoy the show. Um, you know, I mean, I'm trying to figure out a sweet spot Um, I know that. I appreciate it. Um, because I was trying like today, you had Melton on at 6 a.m. and then Shuli's on around the same time, and then Chad was on, and then MLC is on, and then Ray's on, and then Pat's on, and then this is pretty much the only time that I can do it without interrupting someone else's stream, which I'm really going to try not to do. But at some point, it's inevitable that um, I will. Like tomorrow night, I'm doing an AEW stream, which AEW for me comes on between 5 and 7 West Coast time. So I don't know who's going to be on at that point, but it'll only be like an hour stream, and so I'll be off the air when Pat um, start before he starts. So, well, I mean, I think I don't know a lot about Stevie Lou Dat, so um, I think he's like a part-time comic. Like I know he's done stand-up, but I don't know if he's full-time. I mean, here's the problem with that roast battle. I can see it already is that they don't like each other. So it's just going to be two dudes shitting on each other. And that's not funny, you know. You could like me and Chad would be funny. I'm not going to do that, but like we would be funny because we're friends. But I will say I do disagree with something Kevin said today when my name was brought up, and he was like, "What's up, Doctor Chow? What? No, I don't think so, Doctor Chow. Like I've got more experience with roast battle than the whole Dabbleverse put together, and it's never good when two guys or girls or a guy and a girl when they hate each other. Yeah, but if it's just two guys shitting on each other after the first joke, it just disintegrates. Trust me, bro. I know what I'm talking about. I've roast battle on television. I know what I'm talking about. Respectfully, Dr. Chow. Well, I mean, I'm not, it's no brag saying I'm an expert at roast battle, but it always does help if you like the person a little bit because then, you could still like yes, let's say if you and me, Dr. Chow, roast battled, we'd hit each other hard, but there's the respect there, where, you know, I don't think there is between Chad and Stevie Lou. So, um, it's just going to disintegrate. I can tell. So it's going to be important for Kevin to moderate. You're definitely going to have to mute the other person while the other is roasting. John Mac 86, $5. Fair point, but I do think you were one of the most enjoyable one-on-ones that KB has ever done. I think it might have been your first time there, and it was gold. Yeah, I think I remember that one. I think Chad had set that up because I still have never met Kevin physically, and we've never met in person. Um, so you know, I enjoy Kevin because I respect. Like me and Kevin would be a good roast battle because we both respect each other. Um, so we act you're friendly, more details, and it's a little more give and take. But if you actually don't like the other person, um, it just disintegrates almost every time. Not every time, but I would say literally 9 times out of 10. Um, do you agree that historical roast was an abomination? Yeah, it was horrible um, because you know Jeff tried to make it about him, and historical roast is a great idea. Dead celebrities roasting each other because it's limitless possibilities. but, like, I was on, like, 6 or 7 of the local shows, local, historical roast, and I'm not gonna say I killed every time, but I did very well. Because they would give me, like, Lenny Bruce, one of them I was Hitler, another one I was Ultimate Warrior, another one I was Schwarzenegger, but they did a roast where it was all Schwarzeneggers, but each one got a period of Schwarzenegger, so I was the Terminator. Um, but, you gotta feel for those kids on historical roast because, that was a show that they worked for 10 years to develop. I mean, I was there at the first one. And, they sat there and they developed it for 10 fucking years. And they sold their soul to the devil working with Jeff and his manager. And I remember about 2 weeks before filming and the majority of the writing was done, I told the two of the three creators, hey, just make sure Jeff doesn't change the idea of the show because this is what happened with Roast Battle. Roast Battle was just two friends roasting each other hard. And then, Jeff and his manager got involved and it became, well, let's get celebrities on and we'll just put up Todd Barry against this person who he doesn't know. And it sucked. And historical roast was brutal. So now those guys have nothing to show for 10 years of work, but a shitty one season show on Netflix. And trust me, when they go into meetings about another idea they probably have, they leave the room. Every executive looks at each other and goes, did you see that historical roast? So I'm trying to read most of the questions. Let me see here. Well, Clam, I stand by my um, judging on the roast. I mean, let's look at that roast. You know, whether you like Ray, whether you like Chad, I like both personally. I could care less who wins. I mean, I really could care less who wins an online Zoom roast battle. To be honest, like it does not affect my life at all. And people say, "Well, Earl's friends with Chad. He didn't vote for Ray because he wanted Chad to win." I on my life, I could care less if Ray won. And let's look at how I voted. This goes back to me not talking shit. I talk facts. I said Ray won the first round decisively. Hardly a cuck for Chad. Um, I said the second round, Ray had the best joke, but I thought Chad was more consistent and he personally made me laugh more. So I said he edged Ray. I stand by that. And I said in the third round, um, neither one did enough to win. So it's a tie. But if you go back, and no one's going to go back and look at this, I was the first and only person to say we need to do a one joke off overtime, like similar to a shootout. So I don't know why people like think I cuck for Chad or whatever. I voted for a tie. If I was cucking for Chad, I was, oh, Chad killed him. He won 2 rounds to one. Do you renounce Gino Visconti and all his works? I don't like the racist stuff. Um, thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. Attell and Tony can roast real good. Tony who? How lonely was your hog during the lockdowns, Earl? Well, I had a fiance during the lockdowns, so my hog was it was not very lonely. But thank you. Um, the LOS team is that Legion of Skanks. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's comics who you think would kill at roasting or roast battle, but that's a difference though, roast and roast battle. If they have a Joe Rogan roast, um, you know, you're gonna shit all over Joe, but then you're gonna pay tribute to him. But if you're roast battling someone, you're trying to tear them down. You're not paying a tribute to them. Roast battle is not uh, a joke writing contest. It's hurt them before they hurt you. Like every roast battle I was on, I knew they were gonna call me old. They were gonna say I date young girls. Well, you never know, Dad Pixon. Like I don't know Dave Smith really, so I can't say he'd be good or bad. But um, you know, it's funny with at least with roast battle. I find the best roast battle comics are usually the worst comics. Because roast battle isn't about joke structure. I will agree with Dr. Chow there. You know, roast battle is about, like I said before, let's call Earl old before he calls me fat. Uh, I don't know what Jeremy Piven knows, to be honest with you, Scott. Um, I mean, I perform primarily at the Comedy Store. Uh, Who would win in a War Games? That's a WCW reference. I could be down with that match between the Dabbleverse and Legion of Skanks. In terms of physical altercation, just based on Luis Gomez alone, Legion of Skanks. Um, but if you picked three, like if you picked Melton, ML, or Kevin Brennan, and Pat Dixon against the Legion of Skanks guys in a roast, that could be pretty decent. Yes, I have. I mean, I remember one time um, I was at roast battle in LA, and the main event was canceled because the girl got hit by a drunk driver. The co-main event was canceled because the guy had liver failure. I mean, people were dropping like flies. So Moses went up to this one guy who was like the local bully of the show because he had been bullied. And he asked this guy in front of all of us, "Hey, you got to do a roast battle right now. Pick anyone." And there was a bunch of roast battlers, and me. I hadn't battled really. And he looks at me, and goes, "I'll take Earl." And he thought, "Oh, I'm going to kill Earl. He doesn't battle anymore." I beat him. No preparation. I mean, literally, we had 20 minutes to come up with jokes. Um, so, well, me and Pat are kind of in the same boat. Like we're in the we're Dabbleverse adjacent. Um, so roast battle is whomever bullies the other person the best. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just true. Like, you're calling someone a whore, you're calling someone fat, you're calling someone old, you're making fun of their big nose, you're making fun of, I don't know, who they fucked in the room. Um, if it's done correctly, that's how it's done. Every time I did a roast battle, my sole goal was um, any joke I did, um, I was like, how can I fuck with their mind before they fuck with, my look or whatever. I never found women comics funny until I watched the celebrity roast. Furthermore, they sucked at stand up. Later, after Lampanelli, Amy Schumer. I mean, I mean, in terms of women roasters, there's not a lot. I mean, I thought Natasha Leggero's very good. Whitney was good, I mean, early Whitney, like her first few Whitney Cummings roast appearances, she was very good. Jeselnik's a killer. Um, well, I think in roast, Johnny, the insults have to be funny, but it also has to be the person getting roasted has to be in on the jokes. If you look at the what was it? The Chevy Chase joke, the roast. He clearly was not in on the joke. I don't know if they lied to him, and well, of course Jeff did that. If Jeff had any fucking, Jeff works with mediocre people, so he looks better. Why don't you think he ever roasted me? Like he roasted Blake Griffin and lost to him, an NBA player who beat the roast master. Now they gave it some bullshit tie, but He's a clown. And I said it to his face. So Ben Jones, Sarah Silverman. Yeah, she's managed by Jeff's manager, so they do a lot of stuff together. I mean, Lampanelli was okay, but I mean, she's a little hacky. Oh, Kim Congdon's great. Kim roasts like a dude. Like I remember she roasted my ex-girlfriend, and she called me up. She said, "Hey, you tell me, give me the dirt." And I'm like, "Kim, I can't get involved, man. I'm behind the 8 ball enough with this girl. Uh, but you might want to do jokes about this." Kim's great. She just brought me up on stage the other night in the main room. So yeah, she's very funny and she don't give a fuck. Uh, well, they get lazy. Once you get recognized as a comic, you just hire writers and like I'm sure every big name comic right now is has a writing staff going, "Hey, give me some shit on Epstein." I guarantee you Jeff is having open mic comics write his next act, you know, and they get to open for him in some shitty club in Orange County. That's their payment. I mean, I wrote for Jeff for the Jerry Lewis. They did some Jerry Lewis roast in Las Vegas. So Jeff reached out to me and he said, "I'm doing this Jerry Lewis roast or party. Can you write me some jokes?" And I wrote him about probably 70 to 100 jokes. I really don't remember. He never once said thank you. He said, "Is this all you got?" Like, how about thank you or a couple bucks? And I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of them were bad, but that's how I write. You know, I write like Kiss writes songs. I write 50 songs to get the 5 good ones. So, I can guarantee you Jeff is using a lot more unfunnier people than me. Uh, and I mean, my favorite roasts were the Dean Martin roast. Now, I don't know how old you guys are in chat. Um, I mean, well, if it's West Coast Kevin Brennan, you guys better start super chatting more. I'm just kidding. Um, yes, I guess I am the West Coast Kevin Brennan. Uh, look up Foster Brooks roasting Don Rickles. It's the best 5-minute roast that you'll ever see. Now, you might not be into the style of Don Foster Brooks, but that's how you roast. Don Rickles and Sammy Davis. Come on, Dad Pixon. Uh, that's a good question, or sucks. I don't know, to be honest with you. Well, I mean, it's really funny, Assyrian, if you get what Norm was doing. Like he was bombing on purpose. Did I go to high school with Dean Martin? I did not. Did not go to high school with Dean Martin. I'm not that old. Um, but I mean, in terms of what my favorite roast is from like the Comedy Central roast, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really have them. I don't have one. Well, it's just like Norm. Like if you get Norm's sense of humor, I guarantee you they gave him a bunch of writers. He read their jokes. They were fucking horrible. And then he just said, "Oh, you don't think I'm funny enough to write roast jokes, and you're giving me shit? I'll show you what funny is." What's my opinion of Adam Carolla? I know he's done a bunch of those. Uh, he hasn't done any roast battles, but he was on the Alec Baldwin roast where I wrote for where I wrote for Dr. Ken. I thought he was funny because he was kind of bombing, and then he just was like, "Fuck this, women aren't funny. This sucks. This guy sucks." Like as soon as he like just ditched the material, he was really funny. Yeah, I mean Gilbert was hacky in a funny way though. Whatever roast Jim Norton was on was pretty good. I think it was Saget. What up, Chicano dude? Uh, I did watch the roast of Kevin Brennan. I thought the funniest people on that were Tom Cassidy. I thought he was great. I thought Gino, like whether you like Gino or not, he was funny on that roast. Patty Rossborough was very funny. And this will be a controversial opinion, but I don't think Chad was as bad as people make it out to be. He had like 2 or 3 good jokes, and then, the rest, you know, it he struggled, but, that also adds to a roast when, like, one guy bombs, it gives all the other roasters, and Aaron Burr killed as the host. I mean, Bichetti, he's Bichetti. Um, so did I have to blow Joey Diaz to get on stage? I did not. I wanna know the roasters you didn't like, in terms of, like, the people I mean, I really wouldn't roast people I didn't like. I mean, that one example, of the impromptu roast, I won't say the guy's name because he's such a piece of shit, uh, but, I mean, there was people on Roast Battle I didn't think should have been on the show. Um, when you look at, um, like, my season of Roast Battle, season 1, um, you had half the cast were Comedy Central comics, and I get the, like, I think the executives were like, "Well, let's have Comedy Central comics on this show, so when they do well on Roast Battle, people will wanna watch their special," but none of them did well. I mean, Steve Azizi bombed, Sarah Tiana killed Sam Morril, um, I mean, Ralphie May got decimated by, Mike Lawrence, Miss Pat was one and done, um, and I beat a few people pretty badly that were Comedy Central comics. So, half the cast shouldn't have been on the show, you know, because who's going to want to watch those specials now when you saw these people bomb or get killed? But it ain't. What are you going to do? I'm not the executive. Do you consider Jeff Ross doing stuff like roasting out of jail, the Mexican border police station, etc. hacky? Of course, it's hacky. Because it's easy to roast people who can't roast you back. And that's what Jeff does. Jeff will never put himself in a position of like a roast battle with me because he knows I don't give a fuck. And I'm as funny as he is. So, and he knows I know where the bodies are buried. So he would, of course, he's going to roast prisoners because he's in control. Of course, he's going to roast Blake Griffin, an NBA player who's never roast battled before. And that's who you battle? This is what I thought when I saw that roast battle with Blake Griffin. Talk about your all-time backfires. I will in a second, but I have to get to Northwest Ken. What are your thoughts on Danish and O'Neill splitting up? I mean, all good partnerships come to an end. I don't know why. I really don't. And I probably wouldn't tell you if I did know why, to be honest with you. That's between those two guys. I like both. I get along great with both. I see both at the Comedy Store frequently. Um, it's it's comedy's a fucked up business, man. So I don't really know the reason. No, I know you're not asking why. I'm saying you know it makes me sad, to be honest with you. Um, you know, but not really knowing the reason why. It's hard for me to delve any further into that. But it just makes me sad because hopefully they. I have not watched Ray's Dry Bar special, Dr. Chow. Um, Hack Birds, when you say my all-time backfires, what do you mean? Like in my stand-up or my roasting? Um, I mean, I would say in terms of roast battle, my all-time backfire was going too nice against Sarah Tiana on television because me and Sarah are really good friends, and I know that her manager manages Sarah Silverman and Jeff, so I knew if I came out too mean, I was going to lose. So I tried to come out cute, and it just, wasn't me. I was trying to impress Sarah Silverman with my joke writing, where I just should have gone hard because Mike Lawrence did, and he won. So not necessarily a backfire, but in terms of comedy, I mean, the 25-year comic, it's going to be about a 12-hour live stream if I talk about all my backfires. Bums me out too. They're both great guys. Um, you know, Syrian, I can't comment on that. And Brittany, I'm on a gag order. I like my spots at the Comedy Store. I'll just leave it at that. Blake Griffin. Well, I will say this: Blake Griffin is funny. I've seen him do stand up, and for someone who's not done it much, he is very funny. He's 100 times funnier than Schaub. Um, to be, and Blake Griffin gets it. Like when he was practicing his roast battle jokes, he would literally go to open mics and wait for 2 or 3 hours. And obviously everyone knew who he was. So I do like that about Blake Griffin. Like he's very humble in terms of stepping into the comedy world. Like Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner had the best joke at the Baldwin roast when he looked at Blake Griffin, who I believe was dating his daughter at the time, and he said, "Just so you know, the next time you come over for dinner, you'll be the second best athlete in the house." I mean, that's a good joke. I used to love Bobby Kelly, still do. I guess he's a whole lot less funny when he just rambles on about his kid on every podcast and bonfire he does. I mean, I don't know Bobby Kelly, and I don't want to listen to Bonfire, but when you have a kid, you change. I wouldn't know, but like, I think when you get married, you change. You know what, dude? Clam. You know what, dude? Shop stand-up special are the funniest I've ever seen. Oh, I don't know about that, Dr. Chow. Like, did you get hit in the head with a brick just now? I love you, but that first special was horrible. And I got no hate towards him. He's always nice to me at the Comedy Store, but like, he should not have done that first special. And I didn't watch the second special. I didn't have to. Hack Burt's 4.99. Seems like there's a lot of politics involving managers in comedy. Yes, there is. Do they actually control who works together as much as Bobby Lee and Kreischer say? 100%. Uh, you must be smoking weed, Dr. Chow. I'll let you off on that. No, Dr. Chow, it's so bad, it's awful. Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't want to talk about myself too much, but I mean, I guess it's my strength. Um, if you look at Roast Battle, um, I was the only person without representation on that show. And I was the only person who didn't have an easy battle. Like if you look at my first battle, I was against Jesse Joyce. There's a thing called the game show law. It was based on the movie Quiz Show, where there's supposed to be no conflicts of interest. And when you look at, Jesse Joyce was the head writer on At Midnight. He literally cashes checks that say Comedy Central on them. So, and this is something that I don't think the TV picked up, but when I started killing him and I looked over at the judges and they're all Comedy Central judges and executives up to my right, like I knew I was in trouble. Even if I got on the show, I'm like, they're going to burn me somehow because I just embarrassed their best roast writer. And then, of course, I had a friend of mine who worked at Comedy Central, and he calls me up when he knew I got the show. He's like, "You're being punished." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Look at your bracket," and he sent it to me. And I got Tom Ballard, who in the untelevised season beat Jimmy Carr, but they gave it to Jimmy, and then I get Jimmy Carr. Now let's look at other people. One person got a bracket that had 3 people in it who'd never roasted before. Mike Lawrence got Ralphie May and Miss Pat in his bracket. Um, you know, Tony Hinchcliffe got Mark Norman, who'd never battled before. Um, so, that shows you the power of management. Now, I kept winning, so there's nothing you could do about it. But, like, I know if I have a manager that's close to Jeff, or, if I'm managed by, Tiana's manager too, my battle with her goes to overtime because, like, hey, no matter who wins, I win. So, I mean, managers can make or break you. But when you're like kind of an unknown comic like me, they won't work with you because they don't want to work. They want you to come with them. Hey, this guy's stream has 5,000 people in it. Sign him. Well, I was just as funny a couple of years ago as I am now. Oh, but you have 5,000 people in your stream now, so I can make money off you without lifting a fucking finger. So, well, I mean, I think Shab's aware, but he's protected. Like, his best friend is Rogan. Like, Rogan's the most, not just number one comic in the world, he's also the number one podcaster. So, he's juiced in, man, from all sides. Um, I mean, I don't think late night shows will be canceled. I think comedy on late night shows probably won't be around much longer, um, because now comics want Rogan, or YouTube. Like, you get more out of going on Rogan, or putting up a clip on YouTube than you do being on any late night talk show. Uh, Jimmy Carr, um, always like Jimmy Carr. Jimmy's the best. Like, I had a great conversation with Jimmy Carr after roast battle, and I'm a big, big Jimmy Carr fan. I don't think he stunk on roast battle, Northwest Ken. I don't think they ever should have put him against me because they knew I was going all in. Like, I was going to do everything I could to beat him, and they should have put him in an easier bracket. Like, they should have put him in with Ralphie May, Miss Pat, and the guy Tiana fought early, Chris Cubis. Let's let him get to the finals. That's what you wanted anyway. But to put him in there against someone like me, who, hey, this might be my only time on TV. I'm doing everything I can to beat your ass. And some people don't think, it's not like I was in charge of the judging. And do you think Comedy Central would rig a battle for me to win? Trust me, they wouldn't. I can assure you of that much. Um, I mean, I don't say any comic. I mean, I don't think he sucks. I think Rogan has found an audience that thinks he's the greatest comic on earth. That's what I'm trying to do, to be honest with you guys. Um, I mean, I can't tell you who to like though, Brittany. I never tell other people, hey, you should like this person. They're funny, or this person sucks. I mean, the only person I'll sit there and say is pretty bad as a comic is Shab, because I don't really consider him a comic. He's a draw, but he's not a comic because he's not practicing. He's not going to mics and like trying to get better. He just walks into main room shows, or or improv shows, or does a weekend in Calgary. And I mean, hey, listen, I don't hate on him for doing it. I mean, if clubs are going to book you, that's on them, not you. Yeah, I mean, I love Red Band. I mean, Red Band's responsible for all. You might even say Red Band's responsible for the Battleverse because, you know, Red Band is he was the one who taped the Mencia thing, and that really was what got Rogan a cult following. And then it's just great guy, Red Band. I have nothing but nice things to say about Red Band. Hold on, I must do something real fast. I'm feeling a little low energy, so I need a little caffeine. But I mean, that's what everyone wants to do. I mean, I would say my target audience is not middle age, but middle class, sports fans, wrestling fans. I guess that skews towards more men than women, but um, I mean, I think women like the outfits I wear and shit. So I have a fair amount of female fans, but I probably um, well, yeah, I agree with Earth sucks. That I mean, I don't know if Red Band and Tony get along off stage or whatever, but I mean, they're making good money and playing arenas now. I mean, I don't, I'm more friends with Red Band than Tony, but I don't find the allure of Kill Tony. From to me, it's yes, two Sting gloves, one's falling, that one. But to me, Kill Tony is just Tony shitting on open micers who can't fire back. Like that's what I always loved about roast battle. If I wanted to talk shit to Jimmy Carr, okay, you can say bad things about Jimmy Carr, but guess what? He's going to be on stage with you, and he can say mean things about you too, Earl. I like that one-on-one combat. I do still have a dog, Lois. She's down there sleeping right now. I don't think Red Band's a slob. Earth sucks. Um, I've seen Duncan live before. He's mid. Lois is the best. I love Lois very much. Um, well, I mean, I just like I think and so people are like Earl, you're coming from roast battle. You don't like Kill Tony, but like I said, the roast battle. I never, except for maybe the first two battles I had, which there was really not much structure to the show, so you pretty much had to battle anybody. But I always wanted to battle people I didn't think I could beat, like a Jimmy Carr, Tom Ballard. I mean, to beat K. Trevor Wilson in Canada, that's more meaningful to me than beating Jimmy because K. Trevor's a legend in Canada. Um, but I was watching. I think it was Kill Tony from Skankfest, where it was him, Red Band, and the Legion of Skanks guys, just all five beating up on this heavy set girl. And I'll give the girl this, like, she was firing back, she was interrupting them, she was trying to get some lines in, they weren't working, but, and she signed up for the show, so if you sign up for that show, what it's about. They want you to bomb so they can shit on you. I mean, it's like roast battle in that regard. So, I was like, "Does it really take 5 of you to beat up on this open micer?" Um, so, I mean, no, oh, Red Bar. Well, I mean, I got no problem with Red Bar, but I don't listen to them that much, to be honest. I am drinking a, Rockstar energy drink. And if I missed your question, like, I mean, there's not that many people in chat, but, like, sorry if I that's why it pays to super chat. Um, I wouldn't say K. Trevor is unknown, um, in America, but, like, he is an icon in Canada. So, when I beat him, in the live finale, that meant more to me than beating Jimmy 'cause, um, it just did. Like, he's, like, a pretty big deal. Yeah, Shane Gillis is great. Oh yeah, she was pretty bad on Kill Tony. Big J's comments were funny though, but yeah, I mean, 100%. But like, did it really take 5 comics to nail down this one girl who, like, I would guess she's been doing comedy under a year. Um, hey, no talking about hard salami in chat. Um, but, I don't you can't deny the show's success. I mean, uh, they are, you know, playing. I think they're doing the Netflix festival out here, playing the Forum. Like that's insane. I mean, I remember the first Kill Tony I did. I think there was 20 people in the room in the belly room. Um, I mean, I thought it was a big deal when they went to the main room, but and then I've seen clips from Austin where like there's a line of 100, 200 comics waiting in an alley to get on the show. Like, I don't know about that, but hey, I'm a fan of any show in this business that makes fucking money. So, you know, I'm happy for Red Band. Me and Tony used to be pretty good comedy friends, but we had not an argument, but a debate about Jeff Ross, and I think if you can guess what side of the fence we both were on. Kill Tony when they had Flair on was good. William cracks me up. William doesn't make me laugh at all, to be honest with you. Uh, it's funny for 5 minutes, and then it's like, okay, do you have anything else? Like, there's no way I could listen to William do comedy for longer than 5 minutes. Nothing personal. Yeah, but see, I didn't find that. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Kip. I just found that sad. And then people were like, "Wait a minute, Earl, you were on the Ric Flair roast. You're not innocent." But we were all paying tribute to Rick. At the end of the day, yeah, we're shitting on him a little bit, but then we're all saying we love you. That was just like, you know, I don't like it. I don't know. I have nothing to do with the Comedy Store Podcast Network. My wrestling show got fired from there, so I don't keep up with what they're doing. I mean, listen, Dr. Chow, I can't tell you who to find funny or who to like. I don't find him funny at all. You know, like I said, I can listen to him for 5 minutes and like take him out of the Kill Tony crowd and put him in just a regular comedy club audience. That shit ain't gonna work. So he better hope Kill Tony goes on forever. Do you like Andrew DeWitt? I don't know him that well. I think I've done like two Beach Cops. Nice guy. I would love to go on Sam Roberts to talk wrestling. Um, but you got to ask. Like you don't. Uh, if he asked me, I would go on it. Or if like the fans say, "Hey, Sam, get Earl on," I would absolutely go on. But it's not something I can ask. Hey, Sam, can I do your podcast? Jay Santos, 199. Thank you very much. What's your take on Steel Toe? I mean, I used to listen to them a lot, and I don't. It's like I said, I don't tell people how to run their business or their shows. I really don't. It just got to be a little too much about the money. And hey, I understand that's his living or their living, and but I'm of the opinion that he'd make more money if he wouldn't ask for it as much. Like we've been doing this for 55 minutes. I have not once asked for you guys to tip, and but that's just how I do it. But I'm also not making my living in streaming, so I can be a little more, like I should say, a little more loosey goosey. Um, so I mean, I talked to him once or twice in DM on Twitter. No beef. Um, I mean, I for whatever reason, I just stopped listening to them altogether. Um, I would say right now I listen to Melton, and I don't listen to him as much as I used to, but I still listen to him a fair amount, and MLC I listen to every day. Do LA Comics talk shit about Rogan now that he's gone? Not really, at least not that I um, am aware of. Yeah, I don't think I would do that. Oh, I do. I just, Kip, you also have to, like, there's so many shows that, you can only watch so many. I mean, I also, work a lot in the voiceover cartoon world, so I don't have time like I used to listen to every fucking I used to listen to Shuley a lot. I barely listen to him because I'm usually sleeping. Um, I think, I feel the same way about Chad that you do a Steel Toe. Like, they know what they're doing. Uh, Leather Daddy Cap, I don't believe I have. I mean, trust me, of all the people who are available for super chats, I'm reading more free questions than anyone would. Um, yeah, I mean, I like Bob. I'm friends with Bob. Comedy friends. Do any LA comics talk to you about the Dabbleverse? Less than 1%. You gotta understand the Dabbleverse is in the farthest corners of the internet, and most of the comics at the Comedy Store are pretty successful. Um, I don't believe I said that, Leather Daddy Cap. Someone called me the West Coast Kevin Brennan, and I did say, well, if I'm the West Coast Kevin Brennan, start anteing up, brother. I love Cassio. Uh, yeah, he was my roast mate, I guess you would call him. Uh, Thank you, Northwest Ken, on the Ric Flair roast. Great guy. I mean, that was a dream gig. Me, Cassio, John Moses, Tyler Morrison, Shuley, uh, Vicky Guerrero, Diamond Dallas Page, Eric Bischoff. Uh, just it was like an awesome. I got to meet Jay Lethal, Magnum TA, Ric Flair, obviously. Uh, Vicky Guerrero and I are like we talk every now and then. You know, um, Bill Duke hates Shuley too. I don't think Bill Duke knows who Shuley is. Um, and Shuley killed at the Ric Flair roast. And if you can see the Ric Flair roast, I got something you can clip, Leather Daddy Cap. I know what I said. Northwest Ken said, "What am I, the West Coast Kevin Brennan?" And I said, "If I'm the West Coast Kevin Brennan, start donating or super chatting." But my point, Leather Daddy Cap, is I don't have a collection plate hat going, "Give me money, give me money." No, I'm telling you, a Syrian, he killed. Like, I know, you don't have to send me the clip. I'm probably not gonna look at it, to be honest with you. I'm lazy, Leather Daddy Cap. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, I know what I said. Earl has class. Not really. I keep it real. Pam. Pam, I am. I think we have 3 girls in chat. Well, I have my Abdullah the Butcher doll right here. Let me show it to you guys. A fan sent me this at the Comedy Store. Isn't that the best? Not that I've accomplished that much in the world of stand-up comedy, but, when I got this delivered at the Comedy Store, I was pretty happy. And here's a, hand my friend Jordan the Lion got me. It's a hand signed by, Mark Henry that says, "To Earl, I am Earl." Remember that sketch with Mae Young? They pulled a hand out of see? Hello. So, I don't know if I said that, Hackbirds. Uh, ugh. Northwest Ken, $1.99. Here's some Skakel dollars. Let's burn bridges. I've known Perry. Thank you, Northwest Ken. I've known Perry for almost 25 years. I've never found him funny. Clip that, leather daddy cap. I mean, I just think it's making fun of a retarded person. It was funny, uh, 20 years ago for, a couple months, but I personally don't find it funny, but because he's clearly not in on the joke anymore. Yeah, but I'm telling you, Shuey killed on that Ric Flair roast. You can see it at Fight TV. I don't get any money from it, so I'm not trying to you know, on the DL make money off you guys. But judge for yourself. Him and Tyler Morrison had the best sets. I had a good set. I forgot my best joke. I forgot. It's nerve wracking up there, man. It's like the one joke I forgot against Jimmy Carr. I'm on stage. There's 1,000 people in the room. At the Flair roast, there was 2,000 people in the room. Plus, you don't know how many are watching on Fight TV. I mean, it's not like it was millions, but it was a fair amount of people. I guess a couple 100,000. And my best joke I forgot at the Ric Flair roast was, and Knobs was sitting right behind me. I had no excuse to not see him. Hey, give it up for Brian Knobs, man. I think it's pretty cool that he can finally say he has a better body than Lex Luger. Hello, because Lex Luger's in a wheelchair. So, um, have I ever made someone upset at a roast battle? I don't think I have. I mean, probably the harshest said was I was battling this gay guy, and I said the only way John won't get HIV is if they take those three letters out of the alphabet. Hello. We were good friends, so I don't think he took offense to it. I mean, I never really went that hard in roast battle, but uh, uh, um, a I would always have one. Like I'm a counter puncher, so if the person I was battling was nice or didn't cross any lines, I wouldn't cross any lines. But I would always have one joke that would cross the line just in case they had one joke. Like the one guy I didn't like, his mom had died of cancer. Um, so I was going to say, so and so's mom died of stage 4 cancer. She's the only one in the family to die of laughter on stage. Pew! My internet is fine. It's at full strength. No, what was it? So and so's mom died of stage 4 cancer. She's the only one to get on stage in that family, or something. I forget the joke. It was like 7 years ago, but oh really? Well, there's nothing I can do about it, boys and girls. I am at the highest level of internet that I can get to. But ironically, I was going to end the stream right now anyway. Um, okay. Um, Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do about that hack, but Berts, my internet is at full capacity right now. But I don't have the best internet, yeah, what I found is Zach and Miko can be pretty brutal, yeah, in stream. Damn, that's aggressive, Ken, but you are one of the bigger donators, so, I might have to. Good night, Northwest Ken, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Zach wasn't great at roast battle, but he was fun. Uh, I do need better Wi-Fi. Yes, try refresh once. I'll do a few more minutes. Um, um, thank you guys, all the donators and people. I know it's Tuesday night, and I know this is a late night stream, but I wanted to not interrupt Pat Dixon's stream, so I waited till he was done. But tomorrow night, I need more than that. I'm working on better internet, but right now, unfortunately, guys, this is the best I can do. Well, my I live in West Hollywood, and there's no towers around here, so I've been told that this is as good as I can get is 5G off my phone. I know, but like if there's no towers around here, um, someone can help her. Well, if you know anyone local to LA, send them over. I'll pay them. I am working on it, but when there's no cell phone or internet Wi-Fi towers around here, there's just only so much you can do. I'm literally in a dead zone. But I thank you guys. No, no, I don't need more money. Um, it's not going to help. Like someone could super chat $100 right now. It's not going to make the stream any better in terms of no, no fiber is not available where I live. Um, I'm with Time Warner, which out here is called something out here. It's not called Time Warner. Spectrum. It's called Spectrum, and they don't do fiber optic right now. I wish they did. No, we don't have Comcast out here. It's Spectrum, which is an offshoot of Time Warner. Uh, no, not at all, Leather Daddy Cat. Not at all. I'm a slave to no one. I'm my own. You know, I don't. I'll treat the $1.99 chatters, as well as I. Which, I mean, I'm sure eventually someone will give a fat super chat, and I'll be appreciative. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing these streams for money. I'm just saying, like William Zoom said it the best. Uh, he said, "Think of me as a bartender. If you like what I do, tip me. If not, trust me, I've read more free chats tonight than every one of the other hosts combined in the Dabbleverse. So I can live with how I conduct myself on these live streams um, because I don't need super chat money. I make my big money is voiceover work. Uh, well, I mean, I do my thing. I'm trying to have this be like a nicer Kevin Brennan, to be honest with you. I went to Full Gear, Teddy. Um, Earl is no Ray. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I've seen Aaron Berg host the Kevin Brennan roast, but that's about it. Uh, so I love you guys. This has been the Earlverse stream. Tomorrow night I will be doing one after AEW Dynamite is over. That's at 7 p.m. my time. Oh shit, we got some last minute. Pam I am, $2. Thanks for your show. Thank you for your $2. Uh, Northwest Ken, $1.99. I hate Subdued Earl. Funny with Danish and O'Neill and Eleanor. Um, Thank you, Dad Pixon. I just, Danish and O'Neill rile me up, um, and as does Eleanor. But I'm enjoying these live streams because it's a little more my speed. Thank you, Northwest Ken, very much for your donations. Appreciated. It will all go back into the show. I'll probably get a new iMac, so my camera's a little better. Thank you, Brittany G. I believe you're a new fan, relatively new, so I appreciate that. And I'm trying, Dad Pixon. So tomorrow night, now the first hour, or at least the first half hour tomorrow night, will be wrestling centric. So if you're not like a big AEW wrestling fan, I'm not saying don't tune in, but that's what we'll start the chat with is AEW wrestling talk. And then we branch out into whatever you guys. This is like an interactive talk show. Uh, MJF's not popping up at Rumble. He's going to resign. I have it on good authority. He's already re-signed in AEW. It's just part of the storyline. He's hurt. He wrestles a lot and he wrestles a hard style. So, um, I mean, I loved when The Rock said head of the table. Um, I mean, I'd like to see The Rock, Cody, and Roman in a three-way main event at WrestleMania, and Cody wins. I mean, Cody's paid his fucking dues, man. I thought he should have won last year. I was there night 2 of WrestleMania, and night 1 there was a bunch of WWE executives at the Comedy Store, and I had a really good set. So this older guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, do you want to go to WrestleMania?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "How many tickets do you want?" I'm like, "Just one." And he sat me in like the section where John Cena's kids are, the foundation for the sick kids. So I literally look like a pedophile. Um, yes, Hackbirds, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't taking anyone else to WrestleMania. Uh, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. It's in Philadelphia this year, so I'm not going. Uh, MJF, yeah, I mean, he definitely hits hard and he gets hit hard. I mean, that power bomb he took from Wardlow when Wardlow body slammed him or power bombed him, that fucking hurt, man. I mean, Teddy, have you seen the Iron Claw yet? It was a masterpiece. Teddy, $1.99. Thank you, Teddy. I did see the Iron Claw, and I have to give the movie two. We'll end on my Iron Claw movie review. I have to give it 2 ratings or 2 reviews. I think that if you are a Zac Efron fan, um, I don't get that Northwest Ken. It literally looked like so ironic with you talking about Jeff. Explain yourself because I don't know what you're saying. Um, I think if you're a Zac Efron fan or a Jeremy Allen White fan from The Bear, which the creator of the Jellies, Lionel Boyce, is in. He plays the not the Danish cook, but what do you call he plays the pastry chef. So it's good to see the Jellies family win an award. Um, but I think if you're just a fan of those actors or you just want to see a good movie, oh yes, you are right. Well, I didn't call Jeff that. I'm not getting sued. Um, but I think if you just walked into that movie, you don't know the Von Erich story. It's an 8.5 out of 10. Very good movie. Now, if you're like me, and although I certainly watched WWF first, actually World Class Championship Wrestling was really the first federation I followed, and then I leaped to the NWA, and then WCW. So I know the Von Erich story pretty well, and so to me, I give it a 7 out of 10 if you know the story. Um, I get no, I get it now. I get it. Thank you, Northwest Skin, for the explanation. Because they totally cut out the one Von Erich brother who killed himself, the last one, and I think that's the most interesting suicide out of all the suicides in that family. Here you have the one Von Erich brother who's not physically gifted, and that's why he killed himself because he couldn't look like his brothers. And the director said they didn't go into that because it was just too sad. But fuck, it's a sad movie. One more death ain't gonna make or break the movie. And I also thought that Zac Efron should have played Carrie Von Erich because Carrie Von Erich was the real star in that family. And that's not a knock on Kevin. But I'm assuming because Kevin's the only brother alive, and Zac Efron's the biggest actor in the movie. But to me anyway, facially and body wise, I think Zach looks more like Carrie. Um, but Jeremy Allen White, I think is his name. He's a great actor, so he wasn't a bad Carrie. But there's also a lot of things I just didn't like about the movie. I mean, the Ric Flair guy sucked. I mean, he might be a great actor, and granted, playing Ric Flair. Um, oh, thank you, Northwest Ken. Uh, you know, granted, Ric Flair is a tough person to portray, but this guy struck me as just a guy who probably was late. Of course, I don't know what he did, but it just looked like he did the bare minimum research on Ric Flair and said, "I'll just wing the impression." The Bruiser Brody guy, he wasn't horrible, but he wasn't great either. Um, and who was the Harley Race guy? Didn't really scream Harley. He looked like him, but he didn't act like him. Um, and I just thought certain other wrestlers should have been in it more. I thought Gino Hernandez should have been in it more. I thought the gentleman Chris Adams should have been in it. People, you guys are going to laugh at me when I say this, but I thought Kamala, he had some great feuds with Kerry Von Erich, and that was my other complaint about the movie was that I think that they just made it seem like they wrestled the Freebirds. Uh, I mean, the Von Erich family had great feuds, and there were so many great wrestlers from that time frame. Rick Rude, Ultimate Warrior, when he was the Dingo Warrior, the Undertaker, I think was Big Red or something like that. And they kind of, they made it seem like the Von Erich curse was related to the name change, but you know, if you look back at Fritz Von Erich, when he came to the ring as a bad guy, he was wearing like a Nazi jacket, like the Iron Cross, and I don't mean Jesus. And he'd do the goose step, and maybe that had something to do with the curse. But to leave that out, I mean, I get it. I'm sure Kevin Von Erich was a consultant, and he was like, "Hey, can we leave that part out?" What was the deal with Kevin Von Erich match for the title versus Flair? He got himself DQ'd. Was that on purpose? No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember that match, like the particulars of it at the moment, but it was a good movie. Like I said, if you knew nothing about the Von Erichs and you're like a 15-year-old kid and you like Zac Efron from, High School Musical, or, you're a girl who saw the Ted Bundy movie, oh, this guy's cute. I want to watch this next movie. And you go into that, the Iron Claw, not knowing anything about wrestling. I mean, I'm going to assume most of the people who went into the theater and saw Iron Claw did not know what world class championship wrestling was, or the Sportatorium, or it's not like there's fans of Iceman King Parsons going to see that. Um, so, I think that I'm a detail freak, and I know that the Iron Claw isn't a fucking documentary. I get that. But, I just think it could have been a little tighter with the details, and, like, to leave the other brother's suicide out, it's like they almost made it seem like he didn't have another brother, um, and I thought the Lance Von Erich storyline could have been a little better. You had MJF playing Lance Von Erich. I thought there was, I'm not saying 40 minutes should have been devoted to Lance Von Erich, but um, but it's a good movie. I mean, I could see. I don't think they'll ever give an Oscar for Best Actor to someone playing, Lance Von Erich, or I'm sorry, Kerry or Kevin Von Erich. But I mean, the acting's very good. I mean, I'm going to mispronounce the guy's name playing Fritz Von Erich Holt. McClaney or McElhaney. He's a great actor. He's one of my favorite character actors. Um, yeah, I mean, they just left him out. Like, and I get it. Like, yeah, we don't want to put another suicide in there, but if it happened, it's part of the story. And I think it's when I say it's the best suicide, I don't mean it like how it comes out, but I mean I think that it's the saddest suicide because in his brain, it was, "I'll never be able to match up with my brothers physically or, charisma." I mean, there's that one clip of him wrestling, I think it's the 3rd Freebird. I mean, there's Terry Gordy, there's Michael Hayes, and there's the other guy, Buddy Roberts, I think. And you could tell, like, he was just a kid, and they had him come into the ring, and like, he's chubby and, like, he's short, and you could see, like, the unease of him in the ring, and Buddy Roberts is obviously protecting him, um, and he sold the move. I think he hit him with a chair or something, and Buddy Roberts acted like he got shot with a cannon. So, yeah, I agree, Northwest Ken. Yeah, I mean, I just think that to leave it out altogether, yeah, I mean, Omega, probably could have been in there, although his face is a little round. The Von Erichs were square jawed, and Kenny Omega, body-wise, absolutely, but Kenny has kind of a rounder face. Uh, so, well, I mean, obviously, when you have, what is it, 4 of the 5 brothers kill themselves, the parenting has to be questioned. But, to get back to your super chat, I wouldn't say it was a masterpiece. I mean, but if you are say a 9 to 30-year-old fan of Zac Efron, it's probably up there with a masterpiece. I mean, when I saw it, there were people crying in the theater. I mean, it's a fucking sad story. There's no doubt about that. Um, I mean, see, I was the opposite of the other Von Erich brother. Like, I was physically gifted, and I've told this story a lot, but I've been the same size since the 4th grade. So, I was a fucking giant. Um, I mean, I was so big in 4th grade. I think in 5th grade, they were gonna have to take my pituitary gland out because they thought I was literally gonna be like Andre the Giant. But I just stopped growing. So, all right, you guys, we're gonna end it on the Iron Claw review. I would go see it to anyone who hasn't seen it. It's a good movie. Uh, my mom's just a twat too. I don't believe I know that movie, Teddy, but let me know. Yeah, I was a giant. Like, I was dominating in grade school sports. I mean, can you imagine someone this size? I mean, 6'1", and I wasn't 200 pounds, but I was probably 150 or whatever. But that's pretty big for 4th grade. Oh, I see what you're saying. Teddy. Uh, so yeah, I mean, the mom. I mean, listen, like I said, like when 4 of the 5 brothers, die of suicide, obviously your parents dropped the ball somewhere down the road. But hey, at least we got a good movie out of it. Hello. So I love you guys. The next stream will be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. West Coast time. An AEW Dynamite recap. And yes, thank you, random guy. And like I said, the first half hour will definitely be wrestling centric, and then we break off into the Earlverse, and wherever we go, we go. So thank you guys very much. Tuesday night. I don't know what this means. Earl, listen, that looks like an Earl. This maybe I should get some T-shirts. The Earlverse. Yeah. Well, there's many good documentaries on YouTube about the Von Erichs and the real curse on YouTube. Brittany, thank you. Pooter, everyone, good night. I love you all. See you tomorrow night. Thank you all for the super chats. Very much appreciated.